Okay, welcome back. If you hadn't already watched, please check out the previous video where I go through some backstory and some key details and resources for this specific topic on working out radicals and things having to do with complex numbers and imaginary numbers. It's crucial for this specific next topic. So if you haven't, pause the video and go check that out. All right, so here's an example of a radical that has a negative number underneath the radical, and how we can go about simplifying radicals with negative numbers. So like I said, a negative number, you can't take the square root of a negative number. Well, you can, but the answer is imaginary. So what you would do in this situation is apply the theory that was mentioned in that previous video, that you can split the number underneath the radical into two numbers. So look what I'm going to do here, and tell me if this makes sense. I can split this as -1 times 7, which then I can do the square root of 7 times square root of -1, and guess what? What is the square root of -1? And we know that to be I, and the square root of 7 stays the same, leaving you with radical 7i, or I radical 7. And that would be the answer for this question. So as you can see, we just separated the -1 from the 7, isolating that, and then converting the square root of -1 to I, and then multiplying and combining them. Okay, let's try another question. Feel free to stop the video and try this on your own to see if you get the answer as well before I do. Just good practice. Okay, so square root of -9. Well, we can do the same thing like we did for question 1, right? We can split this as the square root of -1 times 9, right? And then that would split to -1 times the square root of 9. Well, we know the square root of -1 is I, and the square root of 9 is 3. So that then leaves us with I times 3, or 3i. So that would be your final answer here. And then last but not least, for this question here, let's do the same, rinse and repeat. -1 times 12. Then we can split this as the square root of -1 times the square root of 12. This we know becomes I. However, this, you can do this one of two ways. You can split this as the square root of, let me do it further down. You could split that 12 as the square root of 6 times 2, right? Or you can split it as the square root of 3 times 4. You always want to reduce a radical to the prime factorization tree, or where, in other words, where one number is, if possible, where one number is a prime and the other can be a squared number if you need. So in this situation, 3 is the prime and 4 is a squared number. Well, we know that then this can split into 3 times the square root of 4, and that's just, 2. So this then gives us 2 radical 3. And don't forget about the I that we had here. So we tag that on, and we can put it right here, 2i radical 3, and that would be your final answer. This one is a little bit more involved. Take a look at it, try to do the question on your own. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. All right, thanks.